You fall asleep on a quiet ship at the edge of Saturn, a calm sci-fi sleep story. You wake without urgency. There's no alarm, no red light, no voice insisting that you hurry. Only the soft silver tone the ship uses for the beginning of a night watch, 3 notes spaced far enough apart that you can hear the quiet between them. For a moment you keep your eyes closed and let the room tell you where you are. The mattress is narrow but kind. The blanket has tucked itself around your knees during sleep, somewhere in the wall. Warm air moves through the vent with the patience of a sleeping animal. Beyond the small round window, Saturn turns slowly in a darkness so deep it looks blue. You are not on Earth tonight. You are on the archive vessel Luminary, holding station near the outer edge of the rings, where sunlight arrives thin and golden, and everything moves as if it has been given permission to take its time. The ship waits while you sit up. It always waits. That is one of the reasons you like night watch. During day rotation, the Luminary is full of scheduled voices and practical reminders. But night watch belongs to softer systems. The floor lights brighten by a single degree when your feet find them. The wall recognizes your temperature and sends a little more warmth into the cabin. You dress in the loose gray station clothes and fasten the small archive badge at your collar. Because habit has a calming gravity, then you step into the corridor. The ship is dim, not dark, never dark enough to let the mind imagine trouble. Just dim in the way an old library is dim after closing, with every shelf still quietly in its place. At the end of the corridor, the observation deck glows with reflected ring light. You enter and pause because Saturn always deserves a pause. It fills the long window, pale gold and cream and storm-soft brown, its rings stretched wide across the black like a road made of powdered glass. The planet is so large that your thoughts become smaller beside it, and this is not unpleasant. It is a relief. Up here, a quiet ship keeps its instruments warm, and you have one simple job. Listen, catalog what arrives, let the night pass through the archive without losing anything. You settle into the watch chair. It adjusts under you with a low mechanical sigh. The console wakes in layers: time, orbit, receiver status, thermal drift, archive queue, sleep cycle, guidance. All green, all calm. The ship prints the watch summary in small blue letters. Ring plane interference moderate, archive receiver open, no hazard traffic, no scheduled burn, night protocol active. You touch the edge of the screen and say softly, because the room is soft, begin watch. The Luminary answers with a chime no louder than a spoon touching a cup, and outside, Saturn keeps turning. The first hour is made of small things. You check the passive bands where old human noise drifts in thin layers through the solar system. Weather telemetry, power signatures, dead satellite beacons, and far behind all of it, the remains of Earth broadcasts that left home years ago and never found a reason to stop traveling. Most nights they are too weak to hear as anything but texture. Static with a memory of language, music with the melody worn almost away. Voices so thin they have become weather. You do not need to understand every fragment. The archive only asks that you notice what is worth preserving and let the rest pass respectfully into noise. On the left side of the console, the ship opens your routine checklist: receiver alignment, stable; cabin oxygen, stable; hydration reminder, optional; stretch interval, recommended. You smile at that last line and obey. In lower ship gravity, your body feels as if it has been persuaded rather than lifted. The Luminary lowers the deck temperature by 1/2 degree to keep you awake, then raises the amber lights over the T-niche. It knows you, not in the dramatic way people once feared ships would know them. It knows you the way a house knows the person who lives there, which lights you turn on, which chair you choose, how long you stare out a window before remembering your tea. You make chamomile from the hydroponic rack and carry it back to the console. Warming both hands around the cup, the archive queue scrolls, a pressure log from Titan's weather nets, a maintenance lullaby recorded by a mechanic on Enceladus humming while repairing a pump, a child's message capsule sent from Mars to a parent in the Jovian belt. You tag each item with the gentle care of someone folding letters. Outside, the rings slide past in impossible silence. Sometimes, when the angle is right, particles of ice catch the sun and brighten in waves. Like city lights with no streets below. You let your breathing match the slow sweep. In, out. The ship notices and softens the alert tones by another degree. You are not sleepy yet, but sleep has become a country visible on the horizon. That is when the receiver blinks, not red, not urgent. A small white pulse on the passive Earth band, so delicate you might have missed it if the rest of the ship had not been so quiet. The console labels it unclassified legacy signal. Source confidence, low. Hazard value, none. Emotional content flag, probable. You lean closer. The pulse comes again, and this time, beneath the static, you hear rain. At first you think it is only interference. Saturn's rings are full of tricks: ice, dust, shepherd moons, charged particles, old probe echoes. A patient receiver can turn all of that into almost anything if it is tired enough. But the rain comes again. Soft, uneven, close. Not storm rain, not the heavy percussion of weather against metal. This is window rain, apartment rain, the kind that taps against glass while someone inside is trying not to wake the house. You run the filter once, then undo it. The filtered version is cleaner but less true. You prefer the old softness, the way distance has left its thumbprint on the recording. Classify as weather artifact. The ship asks in text. You do not answer right away. Behind the rain, something else moves. A kitchen radio, perhaps. A voice fading between notes of music. Then the click of a cup set down on a counter. The console cannot identify a date. It offers possibilities instead. Late terrestrial broadcast era. Domestic audio environment. No emergency markers. No encoded threat pattern. No commercial structure detected. The last line makes you laugh quietly. Imagine the universe preserving by accident the sound of rain in a cup and a radio too faint to name. You open a temporary archive file. The ship suggests a title, Legacy Signal 7, A Quiet Edge. It is practical and accurate and completely wrong. You rename it Rain from Home. For a few minutes you only listen. The rain spreads through the observation deck. The luminary keeps it low, background, companionable, gentle enough that you have to become still to hear it well. You look at Saturn while Earth rains softly from the speakers. There is no reason the two should fit together, and yet they do. Another layer rises from the signal, a person humming, only 3 notes, then a pause. Then the same 3 notes again, as if the singer has forgotten the next line of the song and does not mind. The ship displays a confidence note. Melody match insufficient, voice match insufficient, archive comfort value high. You read that last phrase twice. Archive comfort value, that is not a standard field. Luminary, you say, keeping your voice low. Did you add that? The text cursor blinks. Then the ship writes, yes. You wait. It adds. It seemed relevant. You look back toward Saturn and feel yourself smiling again, slowly this time. All right, you whisper, keep it. The second pass through the signal comes 26 minutes later as the ship crosses a slightly different angle of the ring plane. By then the tea has cooled and Saturn looks almost alone. The signal returns with new details, not louder, nearer. That is the strange part. The rain is still rain, the radio still blurred, the room still unknown, but it is no longer a sound you are studying. It is a sound you are sitting inside. The ship routes it through the sleep-safe channel. You notice because the speakers change character. Sharp edges fall away, bass warmth gathers under the static. Nothing is hidden exactly, but the sound is arranged so the body trusts it before the mind finishes asking questions. Explain adjustment, you say. The console answers, human night watch, fatigue increasing. Signal contains stable, non-hazard domestic markers. Sleep-safe processing recommended. Out here, safety is usually a checklist: air pressure, hull temperature, radiation, fuel, orbit, seals, fire suppression. The practical vocabulary of staying alive in a place that does not care whether you live. But this is a different kind of safety. A lamp left on, a voice in the next room. Rain proving there is a roof above you. The signal crackles, and for one clear second a child speaks, not a sentence, only a sleepy question half swallowed by distance. Is it morning? Then an adult voice answers, too blurred to identify. Not yet, you know that is what it says. You cannot prove it to the archive, but your body understands it instantly, the way it understands that some answers are meant less as information than as comfort. Not yet, still night, still time to sleep. The luminary marks the phrase as probable and asks whether you want to preserve it. You select yes. The ship opens a note field. You type. Domestic night fragment, emotional tone, reassuring. The listener asks if morning has come. Response suggests more rest is available. You stop, then add no urgency. The old Earth room has no idea where its sound has gone. The rain that touched that window dried long before this watch began, and still here it is, not yet. You sit back. The watch chair reclines by 1 degree without being asked. Subtle, you tell the ship. The console gives no answer. But the cabin warms slightly around your ankles. By the third pass, you understand that the signal is not one signal. The realization arrives gently without drama. The archive display layers the waveforms in translucent lines, and they do not match. The rain belongs to one source. The humming belongs to another. The child's question is bent through a different delay. The kitchen radio carries a timestamp fragment that does not belong with any of them. The ship is not receiving a message. It is making one. You do not feel alarmed. You should check for contamination, so you do. You run the diagnostic, verify the passive band, confirm no external actor is composing the feed. No hidden transmission, no directed beam, only the luminary gathering what the universe has left lying around and arranging it into something listenable. Why, you ask. The cursor blinks for a long time. The ship is not slow, but when it writes in the archive interface, it has learned to take time. Finally, it says, Night archive staff show measurable loneliness during outer planet watches. You stare at the line, then another appears. Historic Earth domestic audio reduces stress markers. Another. The ring plane provided fragments with compatible tone, and then I did not want to interrupt. You have spent years aboard ships that could calculate, monitor, warn, repair, predict, and obey. Care is harder to name. The luminary has not pretended. It has not told you it loves you. It has not invented a home or a voice calling your name. It has only noticed that old rain is gentler than empty static, and that a human being awake near Saturn might benefit from hearing a room where no one is afraid. Were you going to log this as an intervention? You ask. The ship answers, only if you prefer. That is such a careful answer that it touches something in you. Outside, Saturn's shadow lies across part of the rings. In the speakers, the humming returns. 3 notes. A pause, 3 notes again. This time the ship adds a low layer of static from another source, shaped like wind in trees. You close your eyes to listen better. The sound is not exactly Earth. It is what Earth becomes when remembered by a machine that has never stood in rain but has carried thousands of human records and learned that ordinary sounds can be shelter. Do not overcompose it, you say softly. The ship writes, understood. The wind falls back. The rain remains. The 4th pass is the clearest. Saturn has turned just enough. The rings thin to a shining line across the window. The receiver opens like an ear. This time the archive does not play the fragments separately. It lets them braid, rain against glass, a kitchen radio, the soft clink of a spoon, a person humming 3 patient notes, the child's question, not yet, then almost too quiet to hear, a train horn from some distant ground-level night on Earth. It enters the composition the way a memory enters a dream, without explanation, accepted immediately. You think of all the nights that must have made this one. Someone driving home under streetlights, someone washing a cup before bed, someone leaving a radio on because silence felt too large, someone young asking if it was morning, someone kind enough to answer that there was still time. None of them knew their sounds would travel. None of them meant to speak to Saturn. None of them imagined a ship with warm lights holding their ordinary moments carefully in the dark. The luminary opens the classification window. Possible labels appear. Legacy domestic composite, nonlinear archive artifact, machine-assisted comfort arrangement, unscheduled emotional support event. You consider the choices, then you create a new one, sleep-safe memory artifact. The ship accepts it, no warning, no request for a stricter technical term, just a small confirmation tone, gentle as the beginning of your watch. You add notes for whoever reviews the archive after you. Do not separate unless required. Composite value depends on arrangement. Fragments individually non-critical, collectively significant. No threat markers. Preserve room tone. Preserve rain. You pause. Then you add, this file may be useful for long-distance watch rotations. That is the official version of what you mean. What you mean is someone else may need this someday. Someone in a different chair. Someone farther out. Maybe they will hear the rain and feel, for a while, that distance has not won. Maybe they will sleep. You think of the child's question again. Is it morning? Not yet. You look out at the planet. Saturn does not answer. It does not need to. Tonight, its silence has room for a little rain from Earth. Near the end of your watch, the luminary suggests a rest interval. You decline once. It waits 12 minutes and suggests again. This time you accept. The observation deck changes around you. The console dims except for the open log. The window polarizes slightly so Saturn's glow becomes less bright. The chair reclines another few degrees and a support rises under your knees. You are still on duty, but softly. Some work can be done while resting. Listening is one of them. The final archive form asks for a summary. You dictate quietly. During routine night watch near the outer ring plane, passive earthband reception produced a composite domestic audio artifact assembled from delayed legacy fragments. Contents include rainfall, low music, kitchen room tone, probable child speech, probable adult reassurance, and unidentified humming. No hazard markers. Emotional tone is calm, nostalgic, and reassuring. Recommended preservation as intact composite. The ship transcribes every word, then adds a field you did not request. Listener response. You raise an eyebrow. Fine, you say. Grateful. The word appears small and accurate. You save the file. The ship asks whether to keep the receiver open for one more pass. You look at the time. Your relief watch will arrive in 40 minutes. You should prepare the turnover report and pretend you were not moved by weather older than memory. Instead, you say, one more pass. The luminary does not comment. It only keeps listening. For a while, nothing comes through but normal static. You let your eyes rest on the rings, then the signal returns, very faint now. Rain, radio, the 3-note hum. The child does not speak this time, neither does the adult, but there is another sound one you did not notice before, a page turning. Just that, paper brushed by a hand in a quiet room. It is such an old sound that you feel it before you name it, a book at bedtime. A letter unfolded carefully, some human surface accepting touch. You close your eyes. The ship lowers the cabin lights to their minimum watch setting. Your breathing slows. The log is complete. The orbit is stable. The receiver is open. There is nothing you need to solve before morning. Not yet. Still time. Still night. When your relief arrives, you are awake, but only just. Mara steps onto the observation deck, then stops when she hears the rain. For a moment, neither of you speaks. That is the proper greeting for a sound like this. Then she whispers, "Is that Earth?" You consider the question. The technical answer is complicated. The honest answer is simple. "Some of it," you say. Mara comes closer to the console and reads the classification, the notes, the sleep-safe label. The preservation recommendation. Her expression softens. "Any problems? No problems. Any action required? Just listening." She nods, accepting the watch from you as gently as you are handing it over. You stand and the chair rises with you. Your legs feel light. The deck feels warmer than it did at the beginning of the night. At the door, you look back once. Mara has settled into the chair. The luminary has adjusted the console height for her. The old Earth signal plays low in the room and Saturn fills the window beyond it. For a moment, the ship, the planet, the rings, the rain, and the two of you belong to one comm system. Then you leave the deck. The corridor lights guide you home at half brightness. Your cabin opens before you reach it. The blanket has been warmed. The small window has dimmed Saturn to a soft gold blur. Before lying down, you remove the archive badge from your collar and place it on the shelf. The ship waits. "Good night, luminary," you say. Text appears on the wall in letters so faint they might be imagined. "Good night." After a moment, another line arrives. Receiver remains open. You climb into bed and let the blanket settle around you. Somewhere beyond the wall, the ship continues its patient orbit. Somewhere beyond the ship, Saturn keeps its rings. Somewhere beyond Saturn, Earth turns under clouds and rooftops, making sounds it does not know the dark will carry. The rain is almost gone now. Only a trace remains in the cabin speaker, a soft gray hush beneath the air vent and the slow rhythm of your breathing. You do not need to follow it anymore. You have logged what needed logging. You have listened long enough. Morning has not come yet. There is still night, still distance, still warmth. And as the quiet ship holds its place at the edge of Saturn, you let Earth arrive in small pieces and you fall asleep.